5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now the kingly affair between India and England is down to its last stage as this royal battle comes down to the ODI series, which will begin tomorrow. This three-match ODI series, and England will be hoping to win at least something, as the T20I series was a spicy one, an enthralling series. And finished with a margin of 3-2, whereas India will continue, or rather look to continue, its winning run. So let's straight away dive into the preview discussion, as I have with me my expert, Mr. Monty Panesar. So, Sat Sri Akal, Paji.
Yes, Sat Sri Akal.
First thing, a riveting T20I series came to an end. We also saw some of your action in the Road Safety World Series, where you were absolutely brilliant. Paji, with ODI Super League, the side do you think still that now England will look to actually win something, as it's the last series of this tour, and will actually try and look to test a few players, as Owen Morgan mentioned in the presser?
Yeah, they'll probably look to play some players and see how it goes, and give them a chance.
Yeah. For India, Paji, they'll obviously look to continue their winning run. But with this ODI series, it's considered as the battle of equals. So now England will actually, because in the T20I series, India tested the players and also won the series, but England went with the same combination. So do you think that England will first at least try to win the series and then try maybe in the last ODI, or they'll go straight away trying?
Yeah, well, they'll try and play with different combinations and see how they go. Obviously, winning in India is a very difficult task. So they've got to give everyone a go just to see what they're like in India, and it's going to be an uphill task for England. I think they're going to, they're going to find it very difficult. But I guess they need to find some, answers from some players as well.
Yeah. Our second expert also joined us. So welcome, Shirish. After a gripping T20I series, we head to the ODIs. So your opening comment, and then we'll go on to look at the squads of both the teams.
Well, there was an equally gripping series in the Road Safety Legends Tour, where our other expert was featuring as an opening bowler in every match.
Yeah.
Did brilliantly. I think if you aggregate the totals of the 4 overs per match that he bowled in all the 6 matches, he's conceded the least amount of runs. He's been the most economical. Is that right, Monty?
Yeah, that's right.
You really bowled very well, I must say.
Thank you.
Well, to return to the ODI series, I think India is on a high, having won both the Test series as well as the T20s from a losing position, in the sense of having to make up each time. You lose the first, you win the second, you lose the third, you win the fourth, and then when it comes to the crunch, you really come out with all guns blazing. That's what they did in the T20 series, which is very creditable. And they discovered a new potential opening combination which could help them in the World T20I later in India. Potential. Of course, you would have to miss out on so many very, very good openers like Shikhar Dhawan, KL Rahul, Ishan Kishan. But then you get a chance to have 6 bowlers. So I think I think for the ODI series, definitely you will require 6 bowlers. Now, you still don't have Ravindra
Yeah,
Jadeja in the mix. You still don't have Ravindra Jadeja in the mix. I think he's still injured, or he's still not fully
yeah,
ready
yeah,
to play. So, I think having 6 bowlers is necessary, because here you're bowling 10 overs, and in case one of the bowlers has an off day, you can really be taken for 60, 70
yeah,
runs with no trouble at all. So I think
yeah. Okay.
we may have to consider the opening combination maybe along the lines that Virat talked about, even for the
Yeah,
ODIs.
yeah,
What do you feel,
yeah.
Montipaji, on this?
Yeah, look. I think England got an uphill task. It's going to be a very, very difficult series for them. They're going to find it extremely hard, and it's going to be a huge struggle for them throughout the whole series.
Yeah, 9 ODIs they played after the World Cup 2019. Four they won, four they lost, and one was washed out. So first coming to the squad of England, as you can see on your screens, Morgan captaining the side, Moeen Ali, Bairstow, Sam Billings, Josh Butler, Sam Curran, Tom Curran, Liam Livingston, Parkinson, leg spinner. He was recalled after 1 year. Adil Rashid, Jason Roy, Ben Stokes, Reece Toppy, and Mark Wood, with Jake Ball, Chris Jordan, and David Malan as covers. So, Paji, first thing, major missing, no Joe Root, no Jofra Archer. Jofra Archer not being fit, Joe Root, no Joe Root. Uh, Two of the best in their own disciplines. Joe Root, as far as batting is concerned, Jofra Archer, as far as bowling is concerned. So England will definitely miss that. And how much impact will the absence of these two create, and how much this will give a chance to India to actually tighten their grip over the series?
Yeah, well, you look at the experience of this Indian, one-day team. You have Virat Kohli. I think he's been over 250 one-dayers. Rohit Sharma's about 220, and then we have Owen Morgan about 242. But after that, the cupboard's very much bare in the England team. Only Ben Stokes, I think, 95 games. So when you look at it from that perspective, I think this India team is much more experienced in the one-dayers, and because of that, the like of Joe Root, I think a specialist batsman who's done well in subcontinent conditions should be considered for selection, for the one-dayers, because I think they're lacking maybe a specialist batsman. I think in India, that all-rounder role, maybe one or two players it works, but I think having a specialist, bowlers and batters is probably an ideal option, and I think Joe Root kind of fits the bill when it comes to one-day cricket.
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm surprised that they've left Joe Root out, and David Malan is being considered only as a cover. I
yeah.
mean, he was batting really well in the T20 series, and he is the number one T20 batsman in the world. And there's not all that much of a difference between a one-day game and a T20 game. Oh yeah, maybe you can take a little longer to get set, but otherwise, you still have to go for your strokes right from the beginning. I mean, it's not like Test cricket. So I'm surprised that these two great players have been left out by the selectors. Any reason that you can think of? Yes, Jofra Archer has been injured. I can understand that, but these two, what do you say, Monty Baji?
Yeah, well, I think it's to do with their sort of rest and rotation policy, really. I think they want to give some of the other players a chance just to have a look at them. So I'm sure we'll see some of the players. We'll probably see a slightly weaker England team. But, the selectors need to have a look at all the other players. They need to know what, the less experienced players can do under pressure in India. And it's a perfect opportunity, in these one-dayers. So, yeah, look, we may not see as a stronger sort of England side, but as an England selector, I would probably want to find out more about the squad rather than the best 11. So yeah, look, if it's a one-sided affair, it's I'm sure the Indian fans probably want a slightly tighter contest, but look, India are formidably strong in India, and I think you need to play a best 11 every time you play against India. But if England, need to find out about other players with the T20, World Cup coming up in India, they've got the World Cup in India as well. I think England can afford to sort of lose a few one-day matches, find out about some of their players, and see what they're like under pressure.
What do you think
Yeah,
of the chances of players like Reece Topley and Livingston making the 11 and
yeah,
making? I'd
Yeah,
love
look,
to know.
Restops is another player. Like they'll probably like to see if he can get that ball to swing. Livingstone's done really well in the Big Bash and is an exciting player. We haven't seen much of him, so they'll probably these are the two players which will probably play. Matt Parkinson's another one. Leggy, we know about Odo Rashid. Know about Moeen Ali. But there's some players in that squad we don't know about. So
yeah,
we want to see
yeah.
what they do. So yeah, so look, it's if end of the series, let's say England find out more about some of their players and actually lose the series, it's okay because
Yeah.
it's about seeing what the other players can do as well.
Yeah, and today, Owen Morgan, as I was mentioning in the presser, he mentioned that it will be the series will be the opportunity for the fringe players who didn't get the chance. So Parkinson has been recalled after a year. So two leggies in the side, along with Moeen Ali as an off spinner. So if you have to construct 11 out of the squad, so definitely starting with openers, then Roy and Bairstow, or
Yeah. I'll go with Roy and Bairstow. I'll probably have Sam Billings at 3. Joss Butler
okay,
probably be at 5. Owen Morgan at 4. Ben Stokes possibly at 6, or even maybe have Ben Stokes opening the batting. That could be one option.
okay,
Which
okay, okay,
get him out up the order, see what he's like there. Mark Wood, I probably rest for a little bit. Bring in Reece
okay,
Topley, Tom Curran, Sam
yeah,
Curran. Obviously, we know, but I think the exciting one is going to be Liam Livingston and Matt Parkinson. They're two players
yeah,
which,
yeah,
and Reece Topley. They're the three which I think England probably want to know more about than all the others. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Parkinson starts in the first one day, and we get to see a slightly different action. He has a slightly different action to a traditional leg spinner, but
yeah,
you know they're in the squad, and you look at India. The strength of the squad is the depth of the squad.
yeah. And
Absolutely.
so as far as the bowling attack is concerned, you will go with a couple of spinners and three medium pacers in addition to Ben Stokes. So you'll go with six bowling options.
Yeah, I definitely look to play two spinners if I can because spin will always play a role at some point in the 50 over match.
Yeah, yeah,
And it will definitely depend on Ben Stokes. What sort of workload he wants to do. Do we see the Ben Stokes as the batting role, or do we get him a bowl a few overs and say actually the bet to get the best out of Ben Stokes is actually put him up the order like we saw in Rajasthan Royals. He batted
yeah,
really
yeah,
well
yeah.
and he got himself going. So maybe he likes to face the new ball, the field is up, and just go and express himself. That's an interesting sort of option. And I'll definitely look to play two spinners. There could be a point where they may even play three. With Moeen Ali being in the top
Yeah.
six, depending on the pitches we have. But two for certain.
Yeah, considering Pune's wicket, which has a past of being slow wicket, and Sirisa is very in close vicinity to Pune. He lives in Mumbai, so he knows well about Pune. And Sirisa, if you look at the history of what Pune has produced, a wicket slightly on the slow side. So, do you agree with couple of spinners? But at the same time, do you agree that Ben Stokes, as Paji mentioned, should come up the order? Because in that case, Paji, don't you think that Butler will be underutilized?
Yeah, well,
it be
Butler,
underutilized? Sorry, carry on, Paji.
yeah. Well, there could be the option of even opening with Joss Butler and Ben Stokes, up the order, and then have, maybe rest Jason Roy for a little bit. But look, they've got a few options, and I'm sure that they know what they're doing.
Okay.
I agree with both the points that Paji made, that you'd probably require more than one spinner. You require two spinners on the wicket, and I think Moeen Ali will probably have to play in all the matches because he didn't get a chance in the T20 series, so he must be champing at the bit to show what he's able to do with both bat and ball. And he's also a decent fielder. So I think Moeen Ali will probably be a fixture in the side for all the games. At least I feel so, because they've got only 14 members of the team here. And Moeen Ali's experience in India and his success against the Indian batting in earlier matches should make him a fixture in the side. And yes, bringing Ben Stokes up the order is absolutely essential for England because they're underutilizing him at number 6. It's foolish to keep him that late. Of course, in the T20s, no, even in the T20s, they should have batted him earlier because he's such a destructive player. If you give him a lot of balls to play, obviously, once he gets set, he can take the match away from you. I think he's the kind of player who's ideal to open the innings with either Joss Butler or Jason Roy or Bairstow. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So now coming to the Indian squad and a long squad. Virat Kohli leading the side, Rohit Sharma vice captaining, Dhawan, Gill, Iyer, Suryakumar Yadav, Pandya, Pant, Rahul, Chahal, Kuldeep, Washington Sundar, Natarajan, B. Kumar, Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna and Shardul Thakur. So Prasidh Krishna and Suryakumar Yadav got their maiden call-ups, whereas Krunal Pandya also got reinstated into the side, all courtesy to the performances they made in the Vijay Hazare Trophy with two of the top run getters, Devdutt Padikkal and Prithvi Shaw, still waiting in the ranks. First question, in the presser today, Virat mentioned that Rohit and Shikhar will open the innings, but what he mentioned before the T20I series, that Rohit and Rahul will open, Shikhar came in, but this time we can believe that Rohit and Shikhar have been a formidable pair for India. So Rohit and Shikhar opening the innings, that is still clear. But now with the inclusion of Suryakumar Yadav, Paji, will you feature him in the first 11, considering his form and what we saw in the T20I series?
Yeah, I'll definitely give him a go. I think he's an exciting prospect. He's obviously, seemed to bat really well for Mumbai Indians. He's been one of their star performers. And during the T20 series, he was full of confidence. The way he just first ball, he put Jofra Archer into the stands and was supremely confident. So look, India are going to be full of confidence. They obviously have a very strong batting lineup, and it's again that Mumbai Indian connections. When India are a strong team, you always see that batsmen from Mumbai appear in that top 6, and you can start seeing that in this India team.
You see a lot of Mumbai Indian. You see a lot of Mumbai Indians players in that side, but there is one glaring omission. If you put the team up again, I'll point it out. Where's Akshar Patel? I think Krunal Pandya has taken his place. Because that left arm slow, we don't have a left arm slow apart from Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav is a Chinaman bowler. And Krunal Pandya
is also.
Yeah, the left arm slow. So Akshar Patel misses out, very unfortunately. And I thought Akshar Patel was in very good form, playing the tests. He didn't get much of a chance in the T20s. But I think he deserved to be in this side. And it's a long side. I mean, with 18 players, you couldn't fit in Akshar Patel. That's a bit of a surprise. And putting in Prasidh Krishna, who... I'm sorry, there was a call from...
Okay.
So Prasidh Krishna is a surprise inclusion. I wonder if he will get a chance to start in any of the matches, because in an 18-member squad, only if 11 players can play, he's one of the 7 additional players, and how much of a chance he gets to play will depend on Virat, I suppose, unless he wants to do a rotation policy and rest some of the guys who, if you get runs, it is going to be difficult to drop you, right? I mean, for example, if Ishan Kishan got runs, he would not have been dropped from the subsequent sides, but when he got injured. So if you get runs, then it's necessary to keep you on. And to answer your earlier question, would you start with Surya Kumar Yadav? I would definitely start with Surya Kumar Yadav. In fact, he missed out on the side to Australia, and he should have been there. But he had to wait a long time to get his spurs. But once he got them, he's really grabbed the opportunity with both hands. All the innings that he's played in the T20 were really, really good. Completely confident, hitting strokes all around the wicket and getting that flavor of the number 3 batsman spot into his batting. So I would start with...
In that case, and question to Paji as well, in that case, do you think that Shreyas Iyer, he will replace Shreyas Iyer, because Shreyas Iyer is probably the man who will start in at number 4, so 2 Mumbaikars will fight for a number 4 spot? Paji, what do you think?
Well, I think what's exciting about Indian batsmen, these young batsmen, they come in, they're ready-made for international cricket, and the question is, can they find a spot for both of them? Both of them are supremely talented players. So why can't we play Shirish Iyer and Surya Kumar Yadav? Both of them in that top 6. I'm sure India can find a spot for them. So look, both of them playing together, I think will be just fireworks. This is a young IPL players, fearless cricketers. And Indian batsmen are probably at the moment best in the world.
Okay, so if we try and fit Paji, both Shreyas Iyer and Surya Kumar Yadav, so top 3 is by default Rohit Sharma, Shikhar Dhawan, and Virat Kohli. Number 4 comes in Shreyas Iyer, number 5 Surya Kumar Yadav, and then number 6 Rishabh Pant, number 7 Hardik Pandya, and then 8, 9, 10, 11 4 bowlers. But in that case, we have to cut out one bowling option. Paji?
Yeah, well, look, that top 7 looks really strong and solid. So if India are if Hardik Pandya is batting in the last sort of 10 to sort of 5 overs, then I think India have done well. So with that top 6, I shouldn't expect. I reckon top 6 is enough. 50 overs. They're such a strong team.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. They wouldn't need to think any more than that.
Okay. So if you are saying top 6, then one between Surya Kumar Yadav and Shreyas Iyer will probably feature in the side, whereas one would rest. Now coming to Shikhar Dhawan, Paji, I don't know, sir has got disconnected. So Paji, for Shreyas Iyer, for Shikhar Dhawan, it's a very pivotal, or rather very important series, because he's not been amongst runs and he was dropped after the first T20I game. So how do you see that? How much important this series is for Shikhar Dhawan?
Absolutely. He's 35. He needs to be, firing like the big guns and scoring really well. So, he'll come good. He'll played over, I think, 130, 130 one-day matches, plenty of experience. So yeah, I have every faith that he will come good and striking the ball really well and hitting the ball all parts of the ground.
Shirisha, before coming to you, one more question to Paji, last one, because for Kuldeep Yadav, the Chinaman spinner who can actually trouble this English batting, especially in the absence of Joe Root, but Kuldeep Yadav has not been in the 11 for quite a while now. So now India will go with Kuldeep Yadav, or will they not? Because in case they don't go, don't you think, Paji, the internal confidence of Kuldeep Yadav is suddenly destroyed?
Well, I think he's been terrific throughout this Test series and the T20s and being involved. So I'm sure he'll be happily more than happy just to bide his time when his time comes. He's an X factor bowler. He turns the ball away. He turns it a Google leg spin. He gets his chance, and I'm sure he'll bamboozle the England batsmen because they haven't really faced him. So that's another option India have. They're just such a strong, formidable team that you kind of just think any of the 11 that they play, India will just come out winning every game.
Actually,
Okay, Shirish,
what I find that India has been doing to Yuzvendra Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav, the same thing that the English selectors have been doing with Stuart Broad and James Anderson. Never play them in the same spot. Play them alternately. If one plays, the other doesn't play, and that's what's been happening with Chahal and Kuldeep Yadav for quite some time now. So I still think that India will do exactly the same thing. That they might prefer Krunal Pandya to Kuldeep Yadav. Just because Krunal Pandya is he's an outstanding fielder. They're different kind of bowlers altogether. But Krunal Pandya is, I guess, more accurate. Kuldeep Yadav is a more adventurous bowler where he buys his wickets. He goes for runs, but he turns the ball away from the right hander and induces them to play false strokes. So they should give Kuldeep Yadav a chance, as Paji mentioned very clearly. He's been in good form and has played whenever he gets a chance, he's played pretty well. I hope Virat Kohli considers that and does play him as often as he possibly can.
okay. Now, lastly, coming to the bowling attack and talking about one more bowler who might go for runs but has the knack for wickets, and he's none other than Shardul Thakur, the most highest wicket taker of the T20I series. So again, Bumrah is not there. So in the absence of Bumrah, someone has to partner Bhuvneshwar Kumar. So in this side, Paji, who do you think will actually make it to the pace attack of the first ODI along with Bhuvneshwar Kumar? So two places to fill. Who will you go with?
Yeah, look, you can pick any of them really. So good. So they all like do really well, and I think that's a great sort of selection. I think problem for Ravi Shastri to have. He can pick any of them sort of bowlers, and India still come out winning. It's a question of which of the bowlers do they want to know, maybe need more kind of time and find out more about them. That's up to Virat Kohli and Ravi Shastri. But in my opinion, you pick any of them, and India still win the game.
Yeah, you've got
Shrisha,
you've got Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Shardul Thakur as the front runners to open the attack.
yeah.
And I think the left arm Yorker bowling of T. Natarajan is worthy of being looked at seriously. I would throw him into the mix in the first ODI as the third seamer.
Okay.
Other Mohammad Siraj also bowling extremely well.
I was
Bowling extremely well. So yeah, as Paji said, it's a selection conundrum: whom to drop rather than whom to pick. So it's a problem of plenty, which is a good headache to have for the Indian selectors and the Indian captain.
Okay, so for the spin duo, I think you both will agree with Chahal and Washington Sundar, or is there any disagreement on this part? Paji?
Well, Chahal's another great leg spinner. Washington Sundar can bat. He's coming in with confidence. So again, it's you go, which spinner do I want to pick? Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because they'll still obviously beat England. So it's just about giving them exposure and time. I'd probably like to see a bit more of left arm spin, if you ask me. Kunal Pandya, he's a good player. But this India team is far too strong for England at the moment. So, they, in fact, they can probably, just rotate, the players and look at the ones who haven't given the opportunity and have a look at them.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vichirita, I don't have a question for you, rather a prediction from you. Will we see Kulcha back, Kuldeep and Chahal back in the first ODI? Is there any slight possibility?
In my opinion, no. I understand the way Virat thinks, and I understand the way Shastri also thinks, and I think they've firmly decided that the kulcha cannot be played together. It'll have to be out of the four spinners that you've got. It's Chahal,
Yeah.
Yadav, Pandya, and Washington Sundar. I think it would be highly likely that Sundar will go with Chahal in the first game. After that, if
Okay.
either of them goes for a lot of runs, then maybe they will bring in. My first choice there again would be Krunal Pandya, not Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav will probably have to await his time, unfortunately, because that is the way Virat has been thinking. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay. Yeah, Paji, your opinion?
Yeah. Look, I agree that they may just go for the Mumbai Indian bowler who's a great fielder, bats well, and I think Virat Kohli always goes for that extra batting. He wants the batting to be strong. And you got the both Pandya brothers, Mumbai Indian players, really good players. And sometimes if they want to sort of, you just never know. The top order may get blow out by pace a little bit. At least the batting is strong. So I can see both the Mumbai Indian brothers playing together.
Okay. Okay, so now it's we are wrapping up the show, so it's a prediction time, and it's been a norm for India for quite a while now, losing the first game of the series and then coming back from behind. But it's just the three-match series where the team winning the first game always will have a huge advantage on their side. So, Paji, starting with Paji, your prediction for the series, along with scoreline.
I'll probably say India win the series.
3-2? Sorry, 2-1?
No, 3-0.
Oh, huge statement. Again, Shirish.
I'm going to go with the kind of statements that Mike Atherton has been making all along, and also go for a 3-0 margin. Although I think England does have the talent to trouble India, and if India goes with the usual style of going one down in the series and then making up ground, then it might be 2-1. But I still think India will win definitely, either by a 2-1 margin or a 3-0 margin. And as Paji says, the 3-0 margin seems to be more likely.
Okay. So I feel that what I'll end that saying that let's see, we get an enthralling contest of cricket along with some spicy games, some spicy battles, especially between Rohit Sharma and Mark Wood if he plays, because he can actually he's disturbed the Indian batters with his pace. So let's see how much enthralling contest we get to see, and we'll tune in every match day. We'll meet you tomorrow post the game for the analysis. Thanks a lot, Shirish and Paji, for joining in. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.